First met.
Yes, how we first met.
How we first met.
I said to talk about this real quick. The topic is how we first met. It's like how we first met. Yeah, it's like the first date, it's the first encounter, first impression, the first interaction.
A while ago, we officially go way back.
2015,
We
baby.
go way back.
Nice. Is it on? Is it rolling?
Yeah, it's on.
It's rolling.
Yeah.
This is fun.
It's rolling. Yeah.
We gotta give this a name.
I don't know what we're gonna call it.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Chat time.
Chat time. I say we're gonna shop talk and talk shop.
You do, yeah. Shop talk.
Shop talk.
Movement. Shop talk. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
I always figure it out. Peter, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. It's been a while. I know you've been busy building your.
Busy, bro. No.
I think
We're
we're
both
been
busy. We're both busy.
Yeah, and we're both, passionate about movement, and we really, really, definitely think, we think very similar. We see a lot of things in very similar light, and I think that was probably pretty evident when we first met.
Yes.
What was your memory of when we first met?
So I'm gonna give you my experience on our first interaction. So I was working in the gym, and Hiza was coming into the gym all the time, doing
All the time.
every day.
He was there every day.
He was on my radar every day. But the thing is, my man would come into the gym, and he would spend 2 hours doing stuff I've never even seen before. And it's not like exercises that are sexy looking. These are exercises I don't even want to do.
There was nothing sexy about it.
Like, I felt like Hiza was just like playing around. I thought he was just taking a band and going all over the gym and just exercising. But the thing was, you would. No, really, that was my. I'm like, at this point, I'm lifting, I'm snatching over 250. I'm cleaning, jerking over 300 pounds. So, in my eyes, when a man is going around the gym with the band, doing stuff, it's like that's not exercise. But you were moving so well.
I was working on it.
So then, that's how I, interpreted Hiza. But it was so fascinating because at one point it was so interesting. Like, I tried to mimic some of his movements and I couldn't do it. And so I was like, okay, all right. So maybe he is onto something. And then one day, you were in front of the mirror and Hiza was doing this exercise where to me it looked like a flamingo. And you said this is good for your butt. And if you had a strong glute, this is you should be able to do this. And all it was your leg was like on this box, and from here he had some weights and stuff on his hands, and all he told me to do was lift his leg off the box. My leg wouldn't come off the box. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
My leg wouldn't come
Is
off
this
the box.
yoga out on the
I have to find it now.
Tai
We're
Chi or something like that? Healthier?
More yoga.
More yoga.
More yoga,
Yeah,
yes.
you balance
More
very
yoga.
well.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
He's been practicing.
Yes,
See?
I learned from this guy.
Very good.
Right.
Oh, so you can do all the poses and
I was showing you. You
No,
critiquing me if I was doing it right or not.
I'm not that good. I just think outside the box, and I just make him do all
but
the
you can
work.
do things on one leg.
I
without
do, yeah.
falling over.
I try.
I'm impressed.
I try.
Okay, we should teach a class of old ladies. It'd be very inspirational.
Well, I do work with a lot of old ladies.
Yeah, he's a physical therapist.
Oh, no
I work with
wonder.
them. I work with
Oh,
them.
very good.
So he's really good with helping people balance anywhere.
Yeah, I'm in physical therapy right now.
Oh, you
and
are?
she's doing some things for my
balance.
balance. Yeah,
It's perfect.
like foot in
You're
front
already
of
on it.
another. Yeah.
You're already on it. That's perfect.
I hope to improve.
Well,
Yeah.
it only gets better. You
Keep
just
up
keep
the
doing
good
it.
work and keep smiling to keep old people inspired.
Awesome.
Everybody
Thank you.
inspired.
Everybody,
for everyone.
yeah,
Yes.
there you
That's
go.
right.
Have a great one. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's so nice.
Yeah.
I like that one. That was awesome.
That's kind of how it happens.
Yes. So then, I went up to him. He was doing that exercise. He told me it was for your strong butt. I tried and I could not do it.
I remember that.
Instantly, trust. 1,000%. From that moment when knowing that I can lift all this weight over my head, and I felt like there was nothing I couldn't do in the gym, but this leg off the platform. Like I couldn't do that exercise,
Yeah.
and I thought I had a strong butt,
It was just different.
which it's different. It's
just
very
different.
different. And but yeah, from then on, I was like all ears, and I walked away from that experience just like, oh my gosh, so humble. Like there's more to exercise
like,
than just lifting a lot
what
of
have I
weight.
been doing? And I'm the exact opposite. And I think the first time you were on my radar, I think you were doing snatch or something. And I looked over, I was like, all that load, and the guy, I mean, he didn't, like, in my mind, again, I'm thinking, the guy is probably $120, $140, no idea. And I was like, he's stacking, that's a lot of weight. And I just saw how smooth you just moved, and you crushed it. I was like, well, at some point I gotta figure out how to, connect with him and just see, what is it about his physiology that allows him to do that kind of work and tolerate that much work and make it look so smooth where, you would see from a bias standpoint, you wouldn't expect someone with his frame to move that kind of resistance. You expect some, big hurly burly dude moving all this.
Hurly burly.
But hurly burly dudes are not moving that kind of resistance. They're not moving that. But he just made it look so smooth.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of where my first inclination that he was onto something, and that he would be a good person to connect with. And over time, I think me being at the gym all the time and bringing all sorts of different things like the slosh beam and
everything,
PVC pipe and all that stuff, and the mini bands. I think that's
everything.
That's how it all started, right? I think we.
This was way before the slosh beam.
Yeah,
man.
this is how we saw eye to eye.
Yes,
I think.
yes.
How everything kind of grew. So that's pretty much that's how it's. We officially go way back.
We go way back. But not only that, what I really love about you, and it hasn't changed, and I feel like it's only been growing, and I admire so much, is that your willingness to really want to help people. Because my second interaction that I had with this man was I did my first 5K run.
Oh,
and
that's
God
right.
knows, I don't know how many years, probably more than I can count.
Yeah.
I'm not that old, but I haven't ran 3 miles. I never ran. And then I did it with my clients, and to show off, I booked it. I can't be slower than my clients. So I did it, and I could not walk. I couldn't walk. I'm thinking I'm this fit person, and I just ran 3 miles along with everybody else.
Yeah.
And everyone's passing me, first of all. And then afterwards, I could not walk. It was so painful. And I was limping, and then when I was limping, he was working out. Like, I don't even know him. He didn't have to help me, but the only thing you asked me was, "You all right, man?" Because I was limping.
Yeah.
And then I told him that, hey, I ran, and I tried to play it off. I was like, yeah, but I think I ran a little too fast. I'm fast, so I just kind of, yeah, that's why I ran too fast. So I can't walk. So, but then instead of telling me to roll my tight muscles, to stretch or do anything else, all he told me was if I had a tennis ball. And in my head, I'm thinking, what is a tennis ball gonna do? I can't even limp, and you're asking me to play tennis.
Yeah, I know, right?
But anyway, so
it's like I don't even know you like that. Like tennis.
Yeah, but then he made me do this exercise with this tennis ball, and like made me do some like Cinderella ballerina moves, and then he told me to walk, and it didn't hurt as much. And then from then I was like, oh my gosh, this whole process took about 30 minutes of his time, and he's doing this like passionate, and you were like really into like helping
Thanks,
me.
man.
You were like so personal. Like I like my personal space, but like this man was straight up like, yo, you gotta like like this, and let me just rub your calf for good luck, and like I was like, holy shit.
That is definitely an occupational hazard. Physical therapists are known to invade your personal space.
I let it happen, but I was like, what?
It's very challenging for us when even when we're trying to assist people. It's just hard not to. Because we're so used to it. But I think you tolerated it very well. You're like, I don't know why this guy's like this.
Bro, I was like embarrassed and scared at the same time because I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh man, I'm like supposed to be in shape, and I'm limping because I ran a little bit. And then this man's like touching me and making me go up and down with this tennis ball.
It's an occupational hazard. We just get very antsy, and we just
it's the best thing that could have ever happened.
We do, and I just remember just the look on your face when you just didn't limp anymore that rest of that day, and like I think it was like a day or two later, and like everything got better.
I kept doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was still painful,
Yeah.
but like the fact that it wasn't so like my pain was like at a 10, it went down to a 7,
Okay.
and then the more I did it, it kept going down. So then I was like, oh my gosh! So the more you do this, as in like taking medicine, the more you do it, that's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
The faster you're going to recover. So then from that just one experience, I was sold. Like I changed my everything, my mythology, my philosophy on training for myself and others completely changed.
I think that's probably the turning point, right? I think that's when we
That was the
really
turning
started
point.
working together.
I was hooked, man. I was like, I wanted to see you, hang out with you, learn everything. Like just even listening to the way that you were communicating to me was very valuable.
He's being very modest
Yeah,
because I think
like,
that he had as big an impact in my business than anybody else, because I think soon after that you introduced me to so many professionals, so many coaches, so many trainers, and it was what I'd always wanted as a clinician. I've always enjoyed working with performers. I've always enjoyed working with athletes. I've always enjoyed working with just general people who have a very active lifestyle and they want to get back to doing that. And you were instrumental in really connecting me with so many different people in your circle who are, elite performers. They just do. But just your philosophy on performance and consistency and getting people to get out of their own way when it comes to, I don't know if I can do this, I don't think I can do this, to, I can't believe I'm doing this, I can't believe I'm doing this all the time. I think that was the first kind of, aha moment for me that, Peter might be onto something. Just his philosophy, just the way he looks at a problem, the way you address training is not so much a formula, like you've got to be able to do 3 sets of 10. It's really exploring the body, feeling what the body is capable of doing, and then instilling that confidence in that person. I think that's something that takes a special skill, and it takes a special mindset, that you're not just trying to get someone to lift more resistance. You want them to be more robust. You want them to be more confident in their life, not just, oh my God, I can only do this if Peter's watching. It's really, you got this. This is a life-changing thing, and you've got this. And I think that's where our intersect is that from a training side and performance side, and from a clinical side and performance side, we see eye to eye when it comes to working with people, and that they need the nudge. They don't need to be shoved, but they need the nudge to do more for themselves. They need the nudge to really, really feel confident, especially when they're in pain, especially when they're feeling some kind of way, right?
Some kind of way.
You need a little nudge to really get over that hump, and I think that's where our relationship has really grown, and that we see eye to eye, and that we see very similar things, and we see the outcomes being very similar, whether it's a patient in my clinic or their referral from Peter. I think that's been the really great synergy, is that being able to get them back to working with Peter as quickly as possible and more confidently than before. That's how we met. I think that's how our relationship is, and I think I'm forever grateful and thankful for the relationship, because it helped me see things in a different way when it comes to training. It's allowed me to explore so many different things by all the people it's introduced me to. So overall, I think we're just very lucky to have found each other and kind of being able to have that synergy. So we hope we're going to keep building on this. We're going to keep talking a whole bunch of topics in the future. We'll find all sorts of interesting things that make us say,
And you'll see us in action.
You'll see us in action
talking
from time to time. You'll see people randomly connect with us.
Yes.
I think we teach
They have
yoga.
no idea.
Apparently we teach yoga. Only for old people.
Yoga instructors.
Right, yoga
here.
instructors. Yeah, naturally. So stay tuned. We're gonna be connecting on a regular basis,
Yes.
and
Every week. It's gonna be a weekly thing.
Yep, and
It's
you'll be
gonna happen.
seeing a whole bunch of us
A lot of it.
talking about performance and talking about injuries and talking about how do you get your clients or your patients out of these jams when they're having that level of sensitivity or they're feeling some kind of way. how do we do that? And, you know, how do we foster that resilience, and how do we create that that can-do spirit when you're not feeling 100%? So stay tuned, and you know, this is going to be an exciting new chapter for both of us. This is a great exploration. This is something that we don't normally do on a regular basis, but it's been great to finally put it together. It's been a while. I'm glad I finally tracked this man down.
I tracked him down.
Everybody knows he's on social media 24/7. I hope to be on that level, but I can't. It's a hard way. It's a hard. He's a hard man to track down, and I'm just so fortunate that I was finally able to pin him down. He's actually anchored right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm anchored.
There's nowhere to go.
I
He's
can't go
actually
anywhere.
pinned down right now. I'm going to release him in a second, but he's pinned down. But stay tuned, and we're going to be bringing some pretty interesting content, and I hope you just follow us along for the ride.
Yes, please. Oh.
Thank you, bro. Awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. That was so fun.
Oh my gosh.